everybody, it's Elise Houghton at Hometown Profiles. Today we're here with Lauren Mock and we're going to talk a little bit about Mommy's Haven. So great to have you on today, Lauren.
Yeah, thanks for having me on. I'm excited to be here.
Good. So what is Mommy's Haven? Tell us a little bit about what it is.
Yeah, so Mommy's Haven is actually a maternity home. So have you ever heard of a maternity home?
I've heard a few things.
Yeah, so if you're anything like me, I never knew what a maternity home was until I first got involved. So what we are is we're actually a home. As you can see, this is the home right here. From the outside, just looks like a normal home. But we are there to serve pregnant women in need. So they actually come and live anytime during their pregnancy, whether it's, really early or really far along. They come and live there anytime during their pregnancy and then stay for a time afterwards as well. So they can stay there for up to 18 months total, to really get them on their feet, to not only meet those, immediate physical needs of housing, shelter, hygiene products, daily living necessities, all those kinds of things, but also plugging them into necessary resources and community programs and helping them find a job and all those kinds of things to help them get on their own so that when they leave our care, they're self-sustaining, they're able to take care of themselves and their new baby. That's a newborn or maybe a little older by that time. So really there to act as a home for them, to really nurture them and show them how to have like a sustainable home and be able to take care of themselves and their child, but also to get them on their own once they leave us and be able to plug in all those necessary resources and things like that in the community.
That sounds like it has a huge impact on the community.
Yeah.
Now, where is Mommy's Haven located?
Yeah, so we're located in Lowell, Indiana. So we are just kind of in the historic downtown area. We're just back off of that main street there. So.
Okay. Yeah. Now, what's your role over there?
Yeah, so I am the board president. Over the years, I've been involved with Mommy's Haven since 2012. Wow. Over the years, I've worn many hats, had kind of a little bit of everything in terms of roles. But I've been the board president for the last few years. And so what that looks like now is more of overseeing and kind of managing versus being the hands-on day-to-day in the house, which is the role of our staff. So we have a wonderful executive director and we have house staff that are there, on site, so somebody's there at all times with the women to help them and, run programs and that kind of a thing. So my role, especially this year, is going to be more focused on marketing and getting new community supporters and things of that nature, as well as just kind of overseeing the organization as a whole, making sure it's running the way that we want it to.
That sounds like a lot of responsibility.
Yeah.
That's awesome that you give back in that way. How did you get involved with Mommy's Haven?
Yeah, so like I said, I've actually been involved since 2012, and I was actually, my old house, now I live in Crown Point, but I used to live right across the street from where Mommy's Haven is now. Now, of course, it didn't exist at that time. We opened back in 2019, in January was when the house was actually opened. But I lived in a little house in the corner, and at that time I had just graduated college and knew that I wanted to do something in the maternity, pregnancy world. When I was down at school, I had been involved in a group that helped with different pregnancy centers and things like that. I just loved helping, pregnant women in need, had a real heart for that. And so when I got home, I was just kind of praying for where the Lord wanted to, kind of show me where I was needed. I didn't really feel like pregnancy centers were calling my name, and so I was just really kind of in a time of trying to figure that out. And I get a knock on my door. My husband and I were just moving into the house, actually. We were there for the day. And I get a knock on the door, and there's this woman at our house. And I didn't go to the door, my husband did, and I was buried in the basement amongst, moving things. And she asked if our house was for sale. He said, no, it's kind of a weird question if there's no for sale sign in front of the home or anything. And she told him about Mommy's Haven, because he said, well, why are you asking such a strange question? And she said, I'm starting this thing called Mommy's Haven, and told him all about it. And he said, well, sorry, you can't have our house, we're gonna live here, but my wife, I think, would really like to be involved in this. Took down her info, and I got on board, called her the next day and have been on board ever since. So at that point, it was just a dream. It was just really this calling on her life that she felt needed to start this maternity home. There's no maternity homes in this area. The closest one is about an hour and a half, 2 hours away. So the alternative to that, if a woman is needing housing and is pregnant, is, maybe couch surfing from friend to friend, or going to a temporary homeless shelter, things like that. Nothing that actually tailors to the needs of pregnant women specifically. So we said, well, let's get one started. So that's kind of where the dream was, birthed back at that point. And it's been a long road since then of fundraising and events and gaining community support and figuring out how to start a nonprofit and build a home. And so it's been a long road, but here we are.
It's funny how things work out sometimes.
Yeah.
Now, you mentioned fundraising.
Mm-hmm.
Tell us a little bit about how this program is funded.
Yeah, so it's all, we don't receive any, we're not funded by one specific overarching organization or anything like that. We're a true grassroots organization, just funded by individuals, by local churches, local organizations, local businesses. We of course do apply for and receive some grants, but there's no major one source of funding. It's really just a true community effort of people believing in this, donating, holding fundraisers. A lot of times we hold fundraisers, sometimes people hold fundraisers for us. But like I said, it's just a true community effort of making this home run.
Now, I've heard about some of your more memorable fundraisers.
Yes, we've had many over the years.
Tell us a little bit about the hot air balloon.
Oh my gosh, yes. So this was, I think it was 2014. It was our very first official big fundraiser. And like I said at that point, Mommy's Haven was just a dream. Thank God we had a lot of people buy into our vision and know that we were serious, that we were going to see this, this dream through. It was at the fairgrounds here in Crown Point, and we said, all right, well, if we're gonna do, make a big statement, we're gonna put all this time, effort, and energy into an event, it's gonna be a big one. So we had vendors, we had kids games, we had food, we had auction items, we had a car show, you name it, we had it there. It was just kind of a whole roster of events that could appeal to anyone. And we said, all right, well, we need one big draw that's unlike any other event. So a hot air balloon came to mind, and thankfully we had, the gas donated. I think Hicks Gas donated it for the day. It was just all these different places coming together, and it was this huge draw because you could literally see it from, so people would be driving by and what's that? And so they'd stop in and learn about Mommy's Haven and see this giant hot air balloon ride. And that was honestly the only time I've ever taken a hot air balloon ride. So pretty cool. And we definitely got a lot of supporters that day. So
Okay. Now, moving forward, if some people from the community wanted to get involved or maybe help out, how would they do that?
Yeah, so honestly the easiest way would be to go to our website, which is mommyshaven.org. So MOMMYSHAVEN.org, and there you can learn all the details of the program. If you know of someone in need, that's where they can go. Our application is right on there. But if you want to get involved, either donating or volunteering or things like that, there's a little tab that says Get Involved. We made it very clear, so you can click on that and see all the volunteer opportunities. We have a wide range of things, from babysitting to providing transportation for our moms to being a mentor in a one-on-one relationship with our moms there to being a committee member. So that's another role of the board members, is to manage two of our committees. One is the programs that we actually offer in the house, and the other is our development committee, which is marketing and fundraising together. So our board members are on those, but then we allow community members and encourage community members to be part of those as well. So to really help, gain new supporters and expand our programs and that kind of thing. And all those details are listed on our website. But one thing I will mention is that our needs are constantly changing. So, you might sign up to volunteer for transportation, but you might not be needed for a couple months because it's just such a case-by-case basis for each of our moms. Maybe they come in and they already have transportation, or they don't, or, every case is different. So our needs are always varying, but our website is honestly the best place to go. And then our social media platforms as well, Facebook and Instagram. are really the two biggest ones where people can see our constant needs and that kind of thing.
Okay, one last question for you.
Yeah.
How many moms are you helping and how many babies have been born there?
Yeah, so like I said, we actually just celebrated our 2-year anniversary. So we opened the doors of the house in January 2019. And so we just had 26 moms that we've housed is the last total that we had, the last running total. So 26 moms that we've actually housed in the home, which it's not a very big home, so for a small town and having a long-term housing we're really proud of that. Now we've helped many other women with different programs and resources and things like that, so I won't get into those numbers as well, but we've had 12 babies that have been born directly in the home. So it's really cool in our living room, kind of the main area where the girls have computers and things like that where they can do schoolwork or search for jobs. There's photos of all the babies that have been born with their name and baby photo, and just so we can see all the lives that have been born, that have been changed in this home. So really, really cool piece inside of the house.
Well, it sounds like you guys are doing some awesome things that have a huge impact on the community.
Yeah.
So Lauren, thank you so much for being on Hometown Profiles.
Yeah, thanks for having me.
And everybody have a good night.